Hey YouTube, Jim here. Welcome to Top 10 Archive. When nothing goes our way, we blame it on a curse. While when everything goes our way, somehow we have good luck. Either way, we're all just living life, albeit some of us a better life than others. But have you ever stopped to wonder if there are actual curses out there in the world? Do you even believe in such a thing? Well, we all do have to admit that these curses seem to be a bit unexplainable. Real or not, here are 10 of the most bizarre curses throughout history. Number 10. King Tutankhamun's Curse. King Tutankhamun's Curse is one of the most well-known curses. It all started in 1923 when Howard Carter and Lord Carnarvon, both archaeologists, opened the tomb of King Tut. It was in almost perfect condition, and like many mummies of kings, was buried with all the things they would need in the afterlife. And King Tut had a lot of valuable things. There was a rumor that there was something written on the burial chamber entrance that, when translated, read, "Death shall come on swift wings to him who disturbs the peace of the king." Lord Carnarvon was the first to pass from blood poisoning after he cut a nasty mosquito bite while shaving, just 5 months after first entering the tomb. By 1929, 11 of the people who worked closely with the tomb all died of somewhat unnatural causes. If you ever have the ability to view the mask of King Tut in person, it is suggested not to look him in the eyes, as the curse may affect you as well. Number 9. Curse of the Kennedys. We all know about the assassination of John F. Kennedy, but that was far from the only premature death in the Kennedy family. JFK's oldest brother, Joseph P. Kennedy, died during action in a plane crash in 1944 at the age of 29. Their older brother, Robert F. Bobby Kennedy, was also gunned down after winning California's presidential primary at age 42, as well as one of their sisters, Kathleen Cavendish, who died in a plane crash at the age of 28. And that's just Ted Kennedy's kids. JFK's son, JFK Jr., died in a plane crash with his wife and sister-in-law at the age of 38. Mary Kennedy sadly took her own life at the age of 52, and David A. Kennedy died of a drug overdose at the age of 28. All in all, there have been 12 premature deaths in the Kennedy family, the latest being in 2019, when Sorcia Kennedy Hill died of an accidental drug overdose. Number 8. The Curse of the Hope Diamond. The Hope Diamond has many different names, a few of those being the King's Jewel and the Blue of France. Those people who were lucky enough to possess this beautiful diamond often died horrific deaths. The diamond was originally used as a decoration for an Indian temple idol, but one day a Hindu priest decided he wanted it, so he took it. Of course, he was found and punished, but not before the diamond went up for sale. Jean-Baptiste Tavernier stole the diamond, but was mauled shortly after. Then the diamond was owned by King Louis XVI of France and his wife, Marie Antoinette. They owned the diamond for a while, until the French Revolution, where they were beheaded. It then went on to Evelyn McLean in 1912, and soon after she got it, her son died in a car crash, then her daughter died by her own hand. The diamond has since been donated, and its curse lays dormant for the time being, or so the legend says. Number 7. James Dean's Cursed Car. A cursed car, who would have thought? James Dean purchased the Porsche 550 Spider, then had it customized. He took it for a spin and met up with Alec Guinness, a British actor, who later claimed the car looked sinister to him. He begged James not to drive the car, telling him he would be found dead in it within the week, which is exactly what happened. James T-boned another car going 85 miles per hour, resulting in instant death. This could have been just a regular accident if it wasn't for what followed. George Barris purchased the car, intending to sell tickets for people to look at it, but while trailering it, the car slipped off and crushed a mechanic's leg. A thief slipped and broke his arm while trying to make off with the steering wheel. A student broke their hip while viewing the car at a presentation when the car randomly fell. Barris decided to sell the car then, and it went on to Troy McHenry and William Escherud. Troy and William were in a race, both driving cars with borrowed parts from Dean's car. At the same time, both men got into an accident, with Escherud surviving with serious injuries and McHenry dying instantly. Number 6. Tecumseh's Curse. The Tecumseh's Curse goes by multiple names, including the 0-Year Curse and the 20-Year Curse, although no matter what you call it, the details remain just as weird. The legend says any president elected in a year ending in a 0 will die during their presidency. Elected in 1860, Abraham Lincoln was assassinated during his time in office. Elected in 1880, James A. Garfield would be assassinated just 7 months into his presidency. Elected in 1900, William McKinley was also assassinated. In the 1920 election, William G. Harding would go on to die 3 years into his presidency from health complications. Elected in 1940, Franklin D. Roosevelt would die in 1945, just 1 year into his 4th term. Elected in 1960, JFK would be assassinated 3 years later. Furthermore, although elected in 1849, Zachary Taylor would die in 1850, and elected in 1980, Ronald Reagan would go on to survive an assassination attempt. Number 5. The Macbeth Curse. Some of us have read the story of Macbeth in school, but many don't know there was a curse that came with it. Theater actors who believe in it will not utter Macbeth's name outside of rehearsal or performance. If they do, they take cautionary steps to lift the curse. They will spin around 3 times, spit over their left shoulder, and shout out a Shakespearean phrase. It is said if someone says Macbeth's name outside of performance or rehearsal, that disaster will fall upon the production. In the early performances, there were many freak accidents, like the actor playing Lady Macbeth dying unexpectedly, or an actor stabbing King Duncan with an actual knife instead of the prop knife, when the prop had been switched out by mistake. Number 4. The Poltergeist Curse. It is said the curse began shortly after the first movie was released. One of the actors that starred in the movie as Carol Ann's sister was strangled to death by her boyfriend shortly after the movie was released. The next person in the string of deaths was Julian Beck, who played Kane in Poltergeist 2, who passed away at the age of 60 after losing his battle with stomach cancer. The third death was that of Will Sampson, who played a nicer ghost that protected Carol Ann. He passed away from a chronic illness caused by a chronic degenerative condition, and not long after that, another actor died while on the operation table. There were a few other deaths involved with the actors of the movies, all seemingly natural, but it raised suspicion that there was a curse amongst the Poltergeist movies. It doesn't help that they used real skeletons during the movie's production, which is thought to have been the cause of the curse. Number 3. The Curse of the Ice Mummy. On September 19, 1991, German tourists Helmut and Erika Simon found a gruesome discovery while hiking. They decided to venture off of the beaten path in the Alps on the Austrian-Italian border, and it was here they found the body of a man frozen in ice. They assumed he had recently died, but that didn't turn out to be the case. After close examination, the man likely met his demise around 5,000 years ago. In the years after the discovery, several people who were associated with the mummy died at relatively young ages. These deaths were strange, involving unexpected avalanches to freak car crashes. Helmut Simon was one of the people seemingly affected by the curse. While hiking near the place he found the body, an unexpected blizzard hit, causing him to fall to his death. Number 2. Billy Goat Curse. It all started in 1945 when William Sianis was not allowed to bring his pet goat to the Chicago Cubs Major League Baseball game. He had even bought a separate ticket for him. William stated that, "Them Cubs, they ain't gonna win no more," effectively putting a curse over the team for the remainder of his life. The curse lasted for 71 years, from 1945 to 2016. Many attempts at breaking the curse, even from William Sianis himself, all seemed to do nothing. Delivering a goat's head to the Cubs owner, donating goats to poor families in developing countries, electrocuting the baseball from the Steve Bartman incident, and hanging a butchered goat from the Harry Carey statue are just some of the things the people have done in an attempt to lift the curse. Number 1. Koh-i-Noor Curse. Anytime a woman has gotten a hold of the Koh-i-Noor diamond, good fortune and luck seem to come with it. That doesn't seem bad, right? Well, for the women of the world, maybe. But any man that owns the diamond, however, only misfortune awaits him, sometimes even leading to his death. It has even been said that it has destroyed empires, which is a little hard to wrap your head around when it's just a diamond. The origins of the diamond are unknown, but can be traced back as far as 1306 AD. It eventually left the Middle East and found its way into the hands of Queen Victoria. Today, it is owned by Queen Elizabeth II, but put on public display in the Jewel House at the Tower of London, where millions of visitors view it each year. Thanks for watching. Know of any other bizarre curses? Maybe you've laid a curse on someone with unexpected results. Tell us about them in the comments. Cursed you will be if you don't subscribe to this channel. Click the notifications bell and give this video a like, meaning only you'll miss out on other interesting videos if you don't. We really do like you and would never do anything but send our good luck and best wishes your way.